It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Whoever you are, whatever you need, you'll always find great value for the whole family at the Crazy Store. So duck into a store near you and be surprised.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us. So good to be in your company at the start of a brand new day. Now, the question of the day is, are you a florist at heart? Maybe you are. Well, flower arrangements are the perfect way to freshen up your space and to add a pop of color to any room, especially with spring, of course, upon us. Now, learning to arrange flowers is a funny way to add personality to your home, and it can be very quirky when done right. So to help you understand the fundamentals, we're going to be showing you a simple step-by-step guide with Crazy Store's beautiful homeware range of vases, and we have brought boutique florist Nikki Seymour to show us how to arrange your next bunch of flowers. Good to have you here,
Thank you.
Nikki.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So we've got an array of beautiful vases from the Crazy Store here. You're going to help us set up and see how we can decorate them very differently to add some color to our spaces. So what are some of the biggest tips and tricks that you have when it comes to flower decor?
Okay, so obviously you're going to start with your vase. So these are the selection of vases we've got from the Crazy Store. I wanted to demonstrate this vase here because I think it's really amazing.
Yes.
So I took the vase and I didn't want to actually cover the effect that it has because it looks like it's broken, but it's actually not.
That is so cool.
So I think the first trick is to look at the height of your vase and then obviously the length of the flowers. So often what happens is people buy a bunch of lilies and they take the whole bunch of lilies and stick it in a vase and they're all at the same height.
Yes.
Which doesn't really make sense because when the lilies open, they're all
they're going to
packed
be
together.
opening
so
on each
don't
other.
be afraid to cut your stems at different heights. So you'll have one higher one, one lower one, and then a low one.
So in that way, you might have like a more roundish kind of shape.
Absolutely, and it's more layered, adds more texture, and it gives the flowers room to actually open properly without getting bruised and compact.
Fantastic.
So,
great tip there.
Yes.
Of course, if you're going to be putting flower arrangements together, the last thing you want to happen is for your vase to be looking like that. Not because it was designed that way, but because it fell.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Let's talk about how to establish a firm base.
Okay. So with a firm base, when they talk about the base of the vase, it's obviously you need to make sure that your flowers are going to be secure and not falling out, because often, especially with roses, you put them in a vase, even a fishbowl vase, and they all kind of fall over.
Yeah.
So when they say a firm base, you need to, this is a bunch that you'd probably buy at a store.
Yeah.
So instead of just sort of sticking it in, especially with the roses, because often they flop out, make sure that they are cut at an angle, the stems.
Okay.
So when you buy your bunch, you're going to cut them.
Let me just remove this over here.
So
am I going to be doing the cutting?
You can. Just don't cut your fingers.
Don't worry, okay, I'll keep
So
it
you're going to cut it at an angle.
Okay, so at an angle.
Yeah.
There we go. So you're cutting like such.
Absolutely.
Like such. And why do you do this? What does this do?
You're cutting it at an angle so that the stems can drink water, because when you buy the bunch from a store, it's obviously been in that bunch maybe for 3 or 4 days.
Yes.
So you need to refresh it. It's like when you fall and have a graze, the skin grows over and it repairs your body. So it's like the stem, it needs space to get more water.
Why is it so therapeutic to cut stems?
I can see that, and I brought the graze in because I'm worried about you cutting your fingers.
There you go.
So you just cut it at an angle, then make sure your water is clean. This is obviously, it's been drinking all night, so it's not as clean as it should be. Then pop your bunch in, and then often people just leave their bunch like that.
Yes.
For me, flowers need space. Like everything needs its own personality. So pull your flowers out.
Okay.
So that they all have their own little space.
Yeah, the roses definitely are more boisterous in their personality.
So
they like to stand out. Pull the roses out. Don't let them sink to the bottom.
That's it.
Oh,
Your irises.
Talk to me about the flowers that I should be looking out for right now, because what flowers are most in season and what would be ideal to have?
So at the moment, I like to, I'm just going to pop this one here. I like to pick a lot of things out the garden. So many of us rush to the shops to buy flowers, where in our own gardens we've actually got amazing things we can use. So I just want to show you with this one here.
Yes.
This is just a whole lot of greenery. which I've got out of the garden. Rosemary, this is a bit of milkwood, this is a bit of a pine tree that I found. And then I've picked a succulent that I had in my garden. With flower arranger, you must always have a focal point. So I'm going to use this as my focal point because it's a point of interest.
Yes.
I'm going to stick I'm going to turn it around now.
In there?
My succulent in there.
Look at that.
And then it just takes it to the next level.
That's brilliant, because I would have thought that it's already kind of overdone. You can't add anything more to it, and boom.
And then what else I'm going to do is I picked these out of the garden as well, the sword ferns. I'm going to add these in just to give height and texture. So again, just strip the leaves that are going into the vase.
Yeah.
Stick them in, and then you can make them
Look
stand
at
out.
that. That's so clever. Fantastic. Let me check something quickly.
You can do it.
Yeah, green fingers approved. Thank you, Nikki. That's
Okay,
awesome
pleasure.
stuff. Thank you.
Then I quickly want to show you a
yes.
treat trick with this one.
Yes, quickly. That's great.
So this vase here, it really appealed to me. So as I said, I didn't want to put water in and lose the actual texture of the vase.
That's, of course, being available at the Crazy Store.
Absolutely. So what I've done is I've cheated a bit. I've taken the bottom of a pot plant,
Yes.
the drip tray of the pot plant, and I've popped oasis on top, which is wet, oasis. You just put it in a bucket, let it sink so that it absorbs all the water, and then I've attached it with a bit of florist tape.
Excellent.
So I'm going to pop that on top.
Fantastic. Well done,
then,
Nikki.
yeah, you can finish it off with adding a few.
Nikki, you've got so
dots.
many ideas. I tell you what, how about you show us how to do that, and I'll tell everyone at home something. So you go ahead and finish that off. Of course,
Perfect.
as you've seen, learning how to arrange flowers will open your decor options. Experiment and go absolutely crazy with different vases, or vases, if you will, and flower types. And before you know it, you'll be an expert, just like Nikki here. You can continue. I want to see what you're going to do. I'll do the talking, you do the doing. So vases, scatter cushions, frames, organizational boxes, and so much more at a surprisingly good value as well. Only at the Crazy Store and near far. Of course, there'll be one just about wherever you are. Nice.
Whoever you are, whatever you need, you'll always find great value for the whole family at the Crazy Store. So duck into a store near you and be surprised.